Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show. Now, this is Martin here, and some of you may know that I was away for about a week plus, maybe in the circumstances that we see in the market in here. It was a good break for me. I was actually in Australia, in Melbourne, attending a sporting event. And of course, those of you who would like to know what kind of sporting event I'd like to do, maybe you can just text me and I'll fill you in. And maybe one day we'll bump into each other too. All right, let's get down to the business of the market. And of course, the Friday, as I said before, beginning for the month of October, we'll be focusing on the US Market SmartRobie. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in here, especially using SmartRobie as a vehicle here to sort of, diversify out from the Malaysian market that many of you may have known. And this is definitely one of the ways to do that with SmartRobie in here. So let's take a look at what we have for you this morning in our breakfast show. All right, let's scroll on to the big screen here. And you can see this is specifically focusing on the US SmartRobie, exploring the US market. And what else do we have for you in here this morning? And let's take a look at, one of the things that we always look at, which is our morning agenda, or COF. Of course, let's look at also the US market on the S&P 500, which always give us a basis where we are. And if you look at it, S&P 500 just turned Red Pentagon on Friday, right? It turned Pentagon on Friday, and this is also due to the what we have seen in the US, the yield, right? And of course, over the October 7th, when I was away, the Hamas and also Israel war just started in here. So again, market do not like this kind of uncertainty. They need to have some sort of agenda where they are likely to settle it. And we have also seen all prices has gone up. So naturally, we'll be looking at those sectors in here. Do take note for those who are our regular follower of our breakfast show in here. Now, every Friday, we'll be looking into the US market and take this as an opportunity to learn about the US market. You don't need to trade them. After all, you can use SmartRobie to your advantage in here. I think we Malaysian investor need to turn outwards. This is not looking to our current market and the situation in here. So the US market has just turned Red Pentagon and are looking for a DB. What's a DB? We're looking for a double bottom support. That's why we are saying that on the basis. And this next Wednesday, right, will be a joint speaker that I'll be doing. So make sure you catch me also on next Wednesday live Facebook together with Kevin Tan from USmart Singapore. We'll be talking about the Q4 2023 outlook, we kind of stocks we've seen in here, and we'll also be reviewing some hot sectors and stock FA collection here. And don't be overly concerned when the market is, as I said before many times and often again, when the market is down, that is when you want to be looking at the stock. And the market is higher, this is an area you want to take profit. And of course, this is much better driven by the Pentagon guide that we have for you, a well-tested system which you have proven, and we're adopting it into all markets that you've seen here, not only for the Bursa market that we are doing on Monday, and also the Friday will be the US market here. So let's take a look at the market that we see so far in here. And if you look at the US sector index, this is from the VSA 360, which many of our members also have access. And this is something I also recommend those of you who have not to look into our SmartRobie in here, as well as the VSA 360 to give you an upper hand in here. So what we have seen so far is only communication and consumer stable, that is Green Pentagon. The overall market, everything has pretty much turned into, you can see from here, let me just bring it back here, right? A lot of them are in Red Pentagon, right? You can see here red. And at one point, I do think that this market likely to rebound. You could see from the S&P 500 just turned red last Friday, Red Pentagon, and also last night, which is the month. This is a Friday. On the Thursday, it also turned Red Pentagon too. So you can see from here a little bit of correction. Sorry, this Red Pentagon that you see here on my chart, this one is on the 19th, which is actually today's 20th, 19th, I think on Thursday. Today is Friday, so just turned Red Pentagon in here. So you can see S&P, but of course, if you look on, I'm going to share with you later the the Nasdaq, which is the Dow 30 chart, as well as the S&P 500 charts, has also turned. Now, if you don't understand any of the US market that you see so far, feel free to pencil and ask me questions. I'll be happy to see this as an educational way to really give you a hands-on into the market. All right. So you can see now, if you look at the other sectors, the 3-month sectors in here, what we have right now is the continuing so-called grouping of the sectors that you have here. Now, these are the sector. It's important that you know your bearings where you're going with. So you can look at it, only energy sectors, and this is also due to the Israel and Hamas continuing war that we've seen so far, and that has also shot up the energy prices, which continue to push up. Then the other sectors like C is communication. This is the caption here. You can see communication services. I do believe those like Netflix have done pretty well yesterday. You can check out Netflix in the chart that we have, and the other sectors all are grouping them together. The industry, the XFF, the S&P 500, which is actually down since 3 months ago, down 6%. Only Nasdaq is actually doing well, which is actually the technology stock, which is XLF. XLF is, if I can find it here, yep, that's a down, still down 6% in here. So that's sort of giving you a bearing where the market is. So if you look from the US Dow Jones, let's switch to a wider chart here. Right, and you can see the US has seen the resistance right now at 34,000. So we are just going to go through the so-called US outlook before we venture into the respective stock. Okay, thank you for a support in here. So from here onwards, you could see market actually hit a resistance. Let me just get the laser pointer here. Right, a laser pointer here on top, 34,000. Then the market turned Red Pentagon. Right, and today this is a future chart, and what we are looking at, and I want to tell our audience who's listening, look for double bottom here. All right, if the double can be bottom form, then we're likely to see the November and December rally coming in. Right, October in here, the railway track is still crossing downward. Look for a spring at the 33,000 in level in here. Okay. And if you look at the technology heavy, it's still bearish, which is the Nasdaq. Look, you can see that the stock is really going in a zigzag direction, right? Left and right here, and top and bottom in here. So you do see the resistance at 1540, again, a double top. Once we form that kind of double top, the market will really range up in here. And of course, the October seasonality, we are looking for still a very bullish closing that we have, and watch out for any of the sign of strength like spring, because that is going to be giving you a lot of the push upwards. Yeah. Okay, now let's take a look on S&P 500. Also very similar, you can see, resistance at 440. They're all like abang adik lah, brother and sister. The Nasdaq, the Dow Jones, and S&P 500. Now the difference between these two, Dow Jones focus on the 30, which traditionally has been around for almost 100 over years. You have the S&P 500, which are the US top 500 companies, just like in Bursa, Malaysia, the FBM 30. Then you have the also Nasdaq, which we all know, like all the AI generative stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Google, the FANG stocks, which were very popular during the COVID. Now it's less mentioned because now everyone has sort of moved up into the AI, generative AI, which I will talk about it next Wednesday. So make sure you join me. So again, this market hooks down into this level in here around the 4,000 mark in here. Again, we want to be looking at a double bottom there, right? Double bottom. So you can see from here, you can see we are looking to a double bottom here. Now on the stage 2 share, when we first started last week, we were looking for possible stage 2 share, which is a continuation of an uptrend, which is very, very similar that on the program that we do on Monday morning, which is the SmartRobie for Bursa Malaysia. So you can see from here the continuation of a continuation of an up uptrend, right? So we didn't find any, but I did have one stock which we talked about was UNH. UNH was on the 2nd October. You can see this is still in a nice uptrend, jalan, right? And eventually the market did, let's take a look, 2nd of October until yesterday, right? This is a pharmaceutical, and no doubt you can see the market continue to go up. So not everything that you can find actually will, so-called what we say, go down, respect to the index. The index is like the ocean wave where we are going down. But if you can find the sector that is actually booming, then you can find some sort of jewel stock like this. And that's always, we want to start off with the US sector analysis. You can have a good feel with it. I know it's a bit overwhelming if you are the beginner, but it's also good that you want to be able to choose from the right sector, just like how we choose from our Malaysian one. Right now, I think the poultry on the consumer product for the Malaysia is pretty doing well after the budget 2024 was announced that they'll be lifting all the eggs and poultry prices, and then you see the big push of this market in going. And if you think we are doing a good job, just give me a thumbs up in here, a good encouragement for myself and my team behind me that's producing this content, great content, and also my software development team. Definitely we will continue to work harder to really get the basis out there for you to start looking into the US market. Now this week also, for the 20th of September, and if I just need to go out, switch to a wider chart here, and the way to do that, and you just go on to Robie ST2, not collection, Robie ST2, which is the stage 2 shares. There's about 12 of them, right? But I just want to draw your attention because remember this is the stage 2 shares, and we all know the current situation which is going on the Middle West, more fighting. We know the bombing of the unfortunate killing of almost 500 victims in the Gaza Strip hospital was undeniable, very bad, but because of this kind of thing put into the pressure of what we call the oil and gas. And you can type on some of these stocks continue to go up. So what you want to do once you get down to here, look at ST2, which is the stage 2 shares, and click on COP and click on the stock price, right? And that will give you the market. You can see this one continue to wait, very reluctant. You've gone to a 1 month chart or you've gone to a 3 month chart, right? It's kind of very reluctant, but it's still breaking up. You can look at this date will be October 9. October 6 was actually at the bottom, right? Remember October 7 was the weekend, I think it was a Saturday, right, where the Hamas started to invade some of it, and the atrocity of the so-called the music festive event was on October 7. They call it the 911 for the Israel team, and you can see the oil prices started to shoot up. Now I do think that this is going to be an ongoing Israel and Hamas. Pretty much what we've seen on 2023, just that the Russian and Ukraine will be put into the back seat, now, and this one's so the COP, and surprisingly we also have Hilton, right? Hilton, you all know, right? In Centra we have a Hilton there. So let's take a look at HLT. And we can see whether the Hilton chart is going up. And of course, next week we'll be coming back to look into this in here, right? It's about in 150, but it's sort of range bound in here. And this, hopefully we can get them to move into a stage 2, but the last few days was pretty much in the selling in here. And let's see, oops, I gotta bring it up again because the software closed by itself here. So we just, once you get in and go to S&P 500, click Robie chart, and you're back to the stage 2 shares, and that's how simple you want to use it. And that's where you're back again. All right, we got AIG Insurance, we got the banks too, so make sure you check it out. Some of them, we got One Energy, WMB. Now do take note, you may say and look at these stocks and sort of wonder, hey Martin, this is nice, it's $200 US dollar, where I got so much money. But later on, go just spend with me, and we will probably go towards the end and share with you one way how you can invest through US account. Just bear with me in here so you can see WMB started to break out here, and you can see the stocks is actually moving in a very nice day. So this is this week. Of course, next Friday we're coming back to look at some of these stage 2 shares and see how well they have performed. All right, so that's always been the basis in here. We show and we tell. Yeah, we show and we tell. So that way you will always get the most informed decision how we reach that. Now, of course, if you want to know more about the background, how the VSA is done, you can also check out some more tutorial on YouTube. And don't forget, you can also subscribe to our daily newsletter if you've not done so. Now, for our Muslim friend, there were queries and a concern about the Sharia compliance. So I just want to talk about in here a little bit on the how you can obtain the US Sharia list. It's not the full list, but at least it's free. And because there are some website out there you have to pay. So on this one, you can go to wahid.com/my/HLAL. I think this is actually run by a Malaysian US team. So from this Excel in here, later on I'll show you how to get. You can see part of the stock that constitute to the ETF of halal. You can check there. Going for Apple is one of them. Then you got Abbott, Adobe, Analog, all the AA punya lah. Then you got the BB and the CC. You know where I'm coming from, right? So this kind of stock is important. So what I'm trying to say, if you're looking at the US market and you want to trade tanpa was-was, or you want to invest without concern, so this is definitely one area you can go in and look into the US shares and pick up some of these and invest fractionally, because the fractional shares will give you can even invest 10 ringgit if you convert it with 3 ringgit, but it will be 0.0 like Bitcoin lah. Remember, one Bitcoin is about what, 28,000. So if you just buy $100 US dollar worth of Bitcoin, then you get 0.0. So very similar. So you don't need to buy one lot. Now, having said that, you can, once you go to the website, I'm just going to share with you how you can get hold of this one here. And let me just push up one more. Yep. No, let me just go back here. All right. And you can see once you get to the website, wahid.com/my-halal HLA here, and you can see the holding is an Excel spreadsheet. So if you go back, this is the Excel spreadsheet, so you can check it out. And I believe this is not too difficult. There's only 220 plus shares. So how many shares that comes out, use this as an avenue to check out the thing. And of course, right now we'll turn our attention to the Robie FA collection in here, and we have two, and we have last week we were talking about 6th of October, and we were looking at Visa card. We all know Visa card, and you could see this was the, oh, not this one, sorry, I think I got it. Okay, this was Visa, but just keep in mind here, let me see, let me just show you the chart. Okay, chart of Visa. Okay, let me show you a chart of Visa. Just type V, switch to a wider chart here, right? And I will look on the stock chart, stock comment. One more time. Because last night the market seller. Now if you look at the last 1 month, the Visa, I talk about it in 6th of October. And if you look at the chart here, on the left hand side, and let me just bring up 6th October was this one here, right? It did go up for a couple of days until last night. Last night was a big sell-off that we see in here as the the treasury yield, the interest rate actually gone up. And usually when you see interest rate goes up, business will suffer, because we know Visa, right? Visa do credit card, so people have to pay more, and usually that's a perception in the market for, and has turned Red Pentagon in here. Okay, but I do think that Visa is a good stock to hold on the longer term, and that's something I also have in my own account in here. All right, so let's look at this week Robie FA collection for 20th of October, and do we look at S&P 500? Right, and we have the other one, which is the Robie chart, Robie FA list collection in here. We have about 5, and there are 2 that I like. First one is TPX and VSCO. You may know what are these company, but actually if you go deeper on the onto the chart itself, TPX, which is at number 4 here, they are Sealy, Temple, Sealy International. They make the beds. You know, sometimes when you go to the hotel, right, the slightly mid-level to the luxury level, they use the Sealy mattress. The ceiling mattress is quite popular in Malaysia. Some of my friends had it before. It's slightly on the luxury class, and it is very, very comfortable to sleep in a ceiling mattress in here. And that's why sometimes I introduce some of these US stocks with ideas, and these are the product that we find also in Malaysia, which is really, really not there. So you can see from this one, this chart has sort of built a very nice base around $40 over in here. Did turn Green Pentagon in here. Let's take a look at the TPX stock fundamentals. So you can really see from here, it's 6 out of 8, while the sector average is about 37. It has an ROE of 32% and pay 1%. That's why it is rated a 6 out of 8. Very strong company in here. But again, not sexy. They make mattresses. All right. So the next one is a bit more sexy. Is Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret make a lot of women lingerie, a lot of perfume. You can see that they have stores in Malaysia. In I do think where I live very close to Bandar Utama, then also in Pavilion. I do think they have one also on the KL Central shopping mall. Victoria's Secret in Malaysia, they were really focusing a lot on the fragrance and also on the woman lingerie in here. Go and check it out in here. In US, they are known to have very, very sexy sleeping baju for your wife. So those of you who wanted to impress your wife, if you ever get a chance to go for business or even holiday, that's a place you want to be. So Victoria's Secret is the one. So is VESO, and I do think that playing around with US SmartRobie, it is really an eye-opening education for many of you who do not want to spend too much on the so-called knowing everything about US, but the SmartRobie apps is here for you to use, and I do think that this will give you some opportunity. So let's take a look at VSCO. Hit that one, and you go on to stock chart. You probably see the top one in here. Let's look at the stock fundamentals. All right, stock fundamentals in here, and you see stock fundamentals. It is very, very lowly rated, a P of 8 and a 98% ROE. Doesn't pay dividend, but check out the ROE, right? So that's a lot of potential in these stocks in here. It's just that it doesn't get the kind of coverage like Nvidia or oil and gas, kind of again, when you go down to the shopping mall, these are the stuff that, you will see, like what Warren Buffett said, buy things that when you go to the shopping mall or when you open up your refrigerator and you see those brands, those are the stocks that you want, because that is the one is likely to be coming up. So of course, our SmartRobie is powered by the US SmartRobie, powered by the Pentagon Guider, which actually makes life easier by alerting you where the up signal and the down signal with the green and red Pentagon. And of course, right now the notification is important because you can use some of the stocks that you have. Remember the Sharia listing that I have for you. Go through some of the stocks, do your own research and find out what kind of company is good. And if you do, set up the alert when there's a green Pentagon, take a look into it. And this is how I do it also in here. And you can see when there is a blue cell, the thing is alerted. And of course, more importantly, the Pentagon Guider is alert, right? And you can see it does come into your notification freebie for newbie. So if you're a newbie, check this out, not only for the Bursa, but you can also do it for the US market, which I think good. So that's pretty much cover what we have. And finally, for those of you who wanted to open a US account, we highly recommend you to go to the USmart, right? USmart SG, which is a Singapore broker. We are doing a collaboration with them in here. So make sure you use the QR code on the left hand side, and you go in open account. So when you want to open an account, and under this invitation code of NYVJPA, just top of my hand here, let me just say top of my head here, yeah, that's the one, that's the code you want to use. You will earn 400 credit, which is worth about 40 ringgit, worth about 40 ringgit. 40 credit is worth about 40 ringgit, and that should put you up into what we talk about. And together, every Friday morning at 10:15. This education of using USmart, all right, together with Trade VSA, US SmartRobie, and don't forget, USmart do support fractional investing, which is a very interesting concept. And Malaysia right now is adopting fractional investing or fractional trading, where you can buy just 0.04 shares, you can trade with that, or 0.05 shares of Tesla or Microsoft, where you don't need to buy one full unit in here. I think this concept may be quite new for many of our so-called beginner trader or beginner investor, but definitely nothing new like this is in US. All right. So for summary, again, the indices will be tested as it did hit the overhead resistance that we shown for the three indices in here. But I do think that it's likely to form a double bottom. But I will definitely give you more update. Make sure you join me next Wednesday on the live Facebook with my fellow speaker Kevin Tan from USmart SG. Then we can talk about, and also for some of our members who continue to support us in their journey to become a good trader investor, we are definitely starting one for the next 6 months. We started on the 7th of September to 7th of April, and this is still ongoing in here. And the last round, we did have very good winner with Sukumaran, Lee Mayfen, and also I call it Mr. Chu, right, with a very good win rate here, right. Continue to participate in here. Sign up for our newsletter, don't forget. And of course, you can also watch this video in the YouTube, which will be archived. And the VSA 360 continue to give you the edge both on the US market, Singapore, and in here for good price, and the educational follow-up that we have with the latest feature that will help you to become a better trader. Good reviews, thank you to our members. And of course, we do have our Telegram chat room in here. And of course, don't forget to, if you have any stocks that you want me to look at on the US market, feel free to pencil in there. Don't be shy, you know, that's where we always want to start in. Education is always good. If you have any stocks, pencil those in there. I'm happy to help you, to give you my thought using the Pentagon Guider in here. And of course, many times the market is always depend on what we have seen so far. And right now, we are right at the good base in here. Of course, it's not going to go straight up, but we will just have to wait for the likelihood year-end rally, which is I'm still positive for that one. So that's all I have for this morning. Thank you for your support. I'm glad to be back on my live Facebook. How much I miss it as a way. It's always good to take a short break and be back. And I'll be back on Monday on the breakfast show with SmartRobie Bursa. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your support.